I'm Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. Well, there are my girls, Jocelyn and Catherine, already in the house. Hello. It's Tuesday. You know what that means, right? Tuesday means that we're live and we are having a show, and I'm so delighted to see everybody. Welcome. Let's just take a breath and get into today. I got a show for you that I really believe it really spoke to me, and this is stuff that for me that I have been noodling over in my head. You'll see what I mean when I start going through the show. But sometimes we all need a little bit of a wake-up call, and sometimes there are a lot of things that are so obvious and we forget them. And sometimes we need to come back in and we need to reclaim and stake our ground, so to speak. And that's kind of what this show is a little bit about. So I'm happy to share that with you. It's going to be a fun show. Couple of things. First of all, tomorrow is the cooking workshop. It's getting really popular, so go grab your seat if you haven't yet. savingdinner.com/cook. That's how you're going to register for it. Now, I want you to pay close attention to this page, because on it will show you the 5 recipes that you're going to get, right? I believe it's on that page. Anyway, once you register, we immediately send you a little workbook where you can take notes and do all the other stuff, the recipes, the shopping list, and you can go get ready for it. And that's important because we are going to do 5 recipes. Now, last time I did 5 recipes in an hour, right? But I feel like, and Mother Hen was really good about saying this. She wasn't so interested in the speed of getting things done as much as she was interested in making sure that she had all the steps correctly, or making sure that she was doing something, that she needed to do. And so, I took that to heart, because it's not a race. It's all about being able to prepare and put together some really good meals that are going to feed you heart, mind, body, and soul. Always, right? And the second thing is, along the way, I can show you some tricks. I can show you some tips. I can shortcut some things for you and make it a little more fun. Who's in for fun? And the other thing that's really good is that my daughter Caroline is going to be shooting the video herself. So she's, a bit of a foodie, and her recipes are just stellar. Some of her recipes, I've hired her actually to help create recipes for us. So it is going to be fun. Yeah, Jocelyn, yay! It is going to be really fun. So I'm looking forward to that tomorrow. It's really, it is going to be fun. It starts at 5 p.m. Eastern. And one thing to remember, you always have the playback. If you get if you get our live things, you always get the playback so that you can watch it again and again. And one thing that I will tell you is that it's really, if you have a part where you're going, I'm kind of struggling with that, you know what you can do? You can look at the timestamp, write it down on your notes, and then you can say, okay, I'm going to come back and review that. Huh? Isn't that right, Jeanette? Hello, it's good to see you. Anyway, that's what's happening. I'm really excited about our workshops. I love doing stuff live, and I love it when you're there. So we've got that going on. Also, don't forget, our journals, Take Back Your Life journals, are always available at savingdinner.com/journal. They're all new. You can choose your cover, and are you ready for this? Undated. So you don't have to freak out. If you're a little bit of a perfectionist like me, I mean, honestly, I cannot tell you how much I don't like it when I skip a date, and I don't like having to change the date. So undated is my kind of a thing. You'll like that. We also, don't forget, have the Recreate Your Life book club always going on tonight. Tonight, for those of you who are in it, we are in. Are we ending, or that's the third one? For Isn't that the third one? I don't know. I think second one. Anyway, it's it's the energy book, Good Energy book. Oh, such a good book. We're going to be talking about that. I'm going to do a little show and tell tonight. So if you're part of Recreate Your Life, it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to book club. savingdinner.com/recreate. That's where you can find that. And you can sign up for the rest of the year if you want to and get the rest of them. Because I don't want you to miss this. It is really such a neat journey, because what we're looking at is, how do we build this house, heart, mind, body, and soul? How do we elevate, up level our lives? How do we become more? How do we become more of who we're supposed to be? If you believe, like I do, that we are called into this life on purpose and for purpose, and we're fearfully and wonderfully made, isn't it our responsibility then to become the very best versions of ourselves? Don't you think? I believe that with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. I do. So anyway, and courses galore. Jenny's just throwing them all out there. Take Back Your Energy course. It's self-led, and there's 8 courses. It's savingdinner.com/energy, and our confidence course also, savingdinner.com/confidence. That's what we're about. Our quote of the week is, you ready? Opportunities don't happen, you create them. And I'm going to tell you why that is so true. I will tell you. Things are created because they've happened out of your imagination, out of your asking yourself, what if? And I cannot tell you how many times. I mean, my website from 2001, by the way, has been around, has been created because of an opportunity that I created out of asking one question. What if I added a shopping list to a menu plan? What if I did that? And that changed everything. It changed everything. My girl Trisha's here in the house. So this is really an important. I love this quote so much. It's not a big throttle you over the head type of a quote. It's not the cosmic 2x4 that some of them can be, but it's something to think about. Opportunities don't happen, you create them. I know this. I've lived it. I've seen it. I believe it. Write it down in your journal and start meditating on it, would you? Because I think you will find yourself thinking a little bit differently about yourself, about your capabilities, about your belief systems, about your life. That's how it is. That's how things get juicy. So we're winding up our personal power lessons, shall we say, or shows. We have a bunch of different ones. This next one is about visionary thinking, which was a cosmic 2x4 for me, and I needed that. Joe Allen, I signed up for tomorrow, but you haven't received anything for preparing. Check your spam filter. And 2 other things. One thing, check your spam filter, because it is an automatic reply once you sign up. I didn't see you on the roster though. Are you sure you bought that? It's a purchase. I didn't see you on there. But it's savingdinner.com/cook. Check that, your spam, and also send an email into support@savingdinner.com. Okay? But Jenny's right here, and I bet you right now she's like furiously looking for you, Joelle. But I'm glad you're here anyway. So let's talk about this. Check your spam filter. There you go. See, support@savingdinner.com and support@savingdinner.com. Okay, it's right there. That's what you do. I'll tell you what, we take care of our people. I want you all there. I want you to just, I want you to get everything that you can out of it. It's going to be really fun. Because your preparation is going to tell you how to prepare, what to do, and have everything ready. It's also going to tell you exactly what to purchase, and you can look through and see, I've already got this on hand. You don't have to purchase it. And okay, then yes, ma'am, you are on our list. I don't know. Maybe I just missed it. I didn't look this morning, truth be honest, so it's probably there. I'm glad you're here though. And we will get that to you. I promise you, it's there. So check your spam filter and then make sure. Ah, look, Jenny, I told you she was checking. She checked. And Joe Allen, you are registered. Okay. So your email has to be in your spam filter, or oh my goodness, I hope your spam filter isn't dialed up too high, because sometimes we have an attachment and all that. So anyway, we'll get you. We've got you. All right, let's go. I want to talk about this because I think this is really, 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 really important, because so many of us are burned out, in survival mode. And when I say survival, I'm just talking just getting by. You're tired, fatigued, your routines are just falling apart. Um, and then there's this issue of feeling like you're just not enough, right? We It's a self-esteem thing, and a lot of us have had that. A lot of us have had to work through that. A lot of us think we've worked through it, and then here it comes again. What's that about? So, I want you to take a minute and just start thinking and asking yourself, what is my future going to reflect if that's the way I'm thinking about it? If that's the way that I'm feeling burned out and tired and broken and this, that, and the other thing and not enough? What's my future going to look like because of that? And and I will tell you, I'll give you the answer. It's going to be more of the same. It's going to be like Groundhog Day over and over again. It's going to be like this endless loop. It's going to be something that you're not exactly looking forward to if this is where you are. However, the way that we move away from this, the way that we are able to get out of this trap, which it really is a trap, is if we think like a visionary. Think like a visionary. And I've shown you my vision boards how many times. I've spoken about vision. I've told you about the vision that I had and held for so many years about having a house on the water and how it finally came about. But there's been other things like that. I've had a vision of myself with a business. And here I am, 2001, 24 years later, still doing it. You know, I've had a vision of what it would be like to be a part of women's lives and helping them to live in full bloom, by the way. And I've seen all of this. I've almost to the point of tasting it, because I know that that is a vision that I hold, that it was given to me by God. I'm going to be, not that, I'm not like, the what I don't even know how to say that. It's just, but I do believe this. I do believe that we are tapped on the shoulder and called to such a time as this, to a thing to do, a mission. It starts with a vision. It really does. I swear to you, it starts with a vision. It starts with this asking yourself this what if question, and not the scary what if question, like, what if, not Henny Penny, and not that. What if I dared to X, Y, and Z? What if I opened a little shop? What if I decided to take this talent of mine to this next level? Or what if and on it goes. When we do this, we are bursting open the floodgates of what life could look like. And the vision is a result of the imagination that we just triggered just simply by asking a question. Isn't that the coolest? Can you believe how simple it is to spark that little bit of something that can create maybe a future and a vision and an idea for yourself, for your family, for your community? That can happen. But let's talk about what it is to be not just a visionary, but having visionary thinking. It's really, really important. And I think the best place to start is with a big fat contrast. We'll put over here survival thinking, and over here, we're going to put visionary thinking. And I want you to just think about the contrast between the two of them. One of the reasons that I like to do this is because our brains are really good at contrast. You think about a newborn baby. You bring a newborn baby home, you put that little baby in the crib, and they have a black and white mobile hanging there because they can see contrast. From the very earliest of ages, our brains understand contrast. So that's why we're going there with this. So let's look at what survival thinking looks like. I just need to get through the day. How many times have you said that? How many times have I said that? And what does that say? That says I'm barely scraping by. It's hard for me to get through. I'm walking through wet cement. Life is tough. I'm overwhelmed. And the list goes on. I just need to get through the day. And then the other one is like, well, what's realistic for someone like me? You see that? It's dismissive, it's diminishing, it's putting yourself down, it's seeing yourself in the tiniest of lights. It's seeing yourself as just inconsequential. It's seeing yourself as somebody who's just there, just a part of the scenery, of the upholstery to the couch. And how about this one? I don't have the energy for that, to want more. I don't even know what I would do with it if I did it. It's just saying that, you're stuck where you are. And not saying, yeah, that's good enough, but just saying that's just kind of what you're, settling for. So visionary thinking sounds a lot different. It is that black and white situation. Asking yourself this question: what would light me up? Even if I don't know what it is yet, what would light me up? What's so cool? It doesn't mean that you have to put and connect all the dots together. It just means that there is a way that something flicks a switch on you, makes you go, ooh, I like that. This is really fun. This is really fun. Trisha says, I get to have a great day. Right on. You get to have a great day. And then the other thing is, and this is such a good one, what's pulling me forward? You'll see this. There are hints, there's evidence in your life that's saying, oh, this thing, these people, this particular set of circumstances just seem to all somehow keep arriving in my life. Yeah. So what is pulling you forward? What is the thing that's saying, oh, well, maybe this is a path that's possibly developing? And here's a good one. What if I just get started right now? Before I even have all the ducks in a row, before I have the big master plan and have done all the things, what if I just did this one thing? That is what a visionary thinking is all about. That's what asking those questions are all about. That's what having a big, expansive mind about things is all about. It's about shifting gears. I've shared this with you. We have shifted massive gears at Saving Dinner. But I'm going to give you the visionary thing about the whole thing that I've been thinking about. And that was, so for when I turned 60 in 2018, I'm about ready to turn 67. I turned 60 in 2018. And then if you were a part of my whole, emails back in that day, I wrote this big old long email that said, you know what, if I have to cook another chicken breast on TV, I'm just going to, I don't want to do it anymore. I'm done with it. I've taught people how to cook. I've done this. I've done that, blah, 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 blah. And I had a huge swath of people. I don't think I've ever had so many people reply to an email before that says, that's great. You go. I'm so excited about this. And my whole thing back then, almost 7 years ago, was I have a vision for women who are my age, who feel invisible and lost and, left behind. So I've been talking about that for how many years now? For almost 7 years. I've been saying, here are the supplements. Here are the things that we need to do for almost 7 years. Here are the courses. Here are the workshops. Come to, an all day Saturday thing. I'm going to light you up for almost 7 years. I left behind the whole thing that brought me here in the first place. And that's the cooking. And that's Saving Dinner. And that's the piece that just suddenly made me think, why would you leave your roots, Leanne? Why would you leave this behind? Because the embodiment of your physicalness is how you feed yourself. And I can lecture about it all day long, and I can give you the whole nutritional download all day long. But the practical sense of nutrition, it happens in the kitchen, y'all. And the other thing is, and I get this because I've heard this message on repeat, is this. Well, it's just me. It's just my husband. I don't have time to cook. I'm not gonna do that for myself. And I say, screw that. Why wouldn't you? It is the ultimate expression of self-care. And I would even go one step further and say self-respect. Because when we cook for ourselves and it's just us, we are saying, yeah, I am worth everything. And that's the vision that I can do with a chicken breast. Right? Do you see how I'm trying to connect all these dots? But it really was a kind of a visionary 2x4 for me, is that this is all a part of what I am, and I can bring everything to the table. I don't have to leave anything off. So there. So that's how I'm looking at this. So this survival thinking is one way of thinking, and it's narrow and it's scary, and it's not scary. It's just, Groundhog Day. It's the same old, where visionary thinking is saying, I'm going to take myself out of that. I'm going to take myself out of that and into something else, because I'm going to dare to look at things just a little bit differently. I'm going to allow myself. And I'm going to tell you this. This is the thing, too, that really stood out with me, because vision doesn't require certainty. It requires permission. I mean, that's how simple it is. Give yourself permission to have a vision for yourself. When you give yourself permission to have a vision for yourself, watch what happens. Watch the opportunities, just like we talked about earlier. It's going to jump right to you. You are not too old for my programs, Joe Allen. Come on. You're fabulous. You're 83. I'm celebrating you right now. Nobody's too old. Nobody. You're coming to my cooking class tomorrow, right? Nobody is too. You're in the right place, and I'm glad you're here. I just want some pinkies up. If you are agreeing with me that nobody's too old for my programs, will you give me a pinkies up in the comments? We don't work with old. You know what we work with? Promise. You know what we work with? Vision. You know what we work with? The idea that we can become the next best thing ever in our own lives. Because, Joe Allen, I'm going to tell you this. I believe every single woman on this planet, if we're still drawing breath, we are here to become the queens of our own lives. There is still something for us and for you. And for me to have you in my community means that you're bringing something to the table, right? Pinkies up. Look at all these women with their pinkies up. Hi, Lisa. By the way, I didn't see you earlier. I'm almost going to cry, because we are all in this together, and how exciting that we can have this community, isn't it? How exciting that we can talk about the vision for our lives. If we're 83, if we're 67, if we're in our 50s or our 40s or wherever, yes, doesn't matter where you are. The vision that we have, that we keep for ourselves, is constantly growing and constantly becoming the best. I want you to hear this too. The hard part of this is you don't need to know how. This is where we let go and let God, okay? Don't you think he has a vision for your life as well? And don't you think that there's a parallel path there as well? Am I right? I know I'm right. I don't need you to worry about the how. I need you to reconnect with your why. Why do you want that? Why do you want that? Joellen, maybe you're been called to, you're a great storyteller, you've been called to go to the library and read to little children. What a fabulous thing. Can you imagine these little children sitting at your feet, enraptured as you tell the story about Charlotte's Web? You know, beautiful. Think about all the things and how we are all called, because we are. If you are here drawing breath, then your purpose is not fulfilled. I want you to hear that. And this is why your vision is so important. And this is why visionary thinking needs to be a part of the equation. We never dismiss ourselves about how old we are, or it's too late, or whatever. At 60, almost 67 years old in a couple of weeks, I still want to do new things. I'm still throwing my hat out there and saying, I want keynote speeches. I want big stages. I want an arena. I want to see my face on a jumbotron, all the wrinkles and everything. Sure, why not? How is that going to happen? I have no foggy idea whatsoever. But I'll tell you one thing that I know. I'm connected to the why. And the why is because of every single woman who is sitting here right now, and every single woman who's going to listen to this show later, and every single woman who's going to stumble into our saving dinner for some reason. Because we have made a pact as a community, as a family, as a sisterhood, that we are together for a purpose. We might individually have our own purposes, but what do you think we do as a community? Lift each other up. And that's what sisters do for each other. They've got each other's backs. Look what Trish has said. She's here. I'm here finding my soul purpose. Yes, you are. And hi, Martha, by the way. Your vision, by the way, will never come from your past. That's not what it's about. It's only going to come from your purpose. And if you dare to ask yourself the question, well, what is my purpose? Watch what happens every single day. If you don't know your purpose, you don't need to beat yourself up. Every single day, get up and just say, it's going to be a really great day. God's going to show me my purpose. And something's going to fall in your lap. I'm going to give you an example. Mother hen. Do you remember before she was doing the visiting angels? I think she's still doing this, where she's visiting with seniors, and she's a senior herself, of course. And it gave her new purpose. She asked the question and she got the opportunity because she dared to ask. If we ask, we get things. It unfolds before us. It's provided for. So I'm going to tell you what. I told you I was going to bring this whole thing into the kitchen, and here we go. And I'm going to show you how it starts in the kitchen, right? I am. You can start thinking about, I'm going to feed myself well tonight, because that's what matters, that I'm going to fuel my life and feel good. When we feed ourselves well, it matters. We also need to look at how our nourishment is directly tied to our energy, whether we have it or whether we don't. Our pain levels. I'll tell you what, my knees are hurting right now. Hurting. Do you know why? I missed my smoothie this morning. I didn't have time. I was too busy. I got up too late. I didn't follow through on what I would normally do. That collagen in my smoothie protects my knees. And today I went out and brutally bruised some pickleballs, and I won all of my games except one. But I was a sweaty ball mess afterwards, and my knees were crushing in pain. Why? Because I skipped part of my routine. I skipped the thing it makes me feel better. How you feed yourself is how you lead yourself, by the way. We don't have time for junk. We don't have time for convenient stuff. We don't, because that stuff takes away from us and saps our energy and takes everything away. What we do have time for, though, is the vision for ourselves. Start in the kitchen. What does your refrigerator look like? What does your pantry look like? Yeah, I'm going to lecture you. Yeah, I'm going to tell you to fix it. I'm going to tell you to get it together. Because if it's not feeding you heart, mind, body, and soul, it is taking away from you. If it's taking away from you, there goes your energy. There goes the vision for your life. There goes a lot of different things that maybe you were thinking, well, this one thing won't hurt. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, my knees hurt because of missing one thing. I want you to think of this right now. Start there in your kitchen. How can I feed myself? If it's just you, I'm going to give you a challenge. I want you to start making your dinner. And when you make your dinner, you're going to have your protein. You're going to have a potato or some rice or whatever. You're going to have a green vegetable and maybe another vegetable with another color, like some carrots or something. I don't know. And maybe you're going to get off your phone. You're going to start turning on some beautiful music, and you're going to sit there in gratitude and eat that food because you know that you're feeding and nourishing not just your body, but your soul as well. Start there. We start with that because when we're feeding ourselves, when we're nourishing ourselves, then we have the audacity and the energy and the capability to look beyond our next meal and to see an absolute vision that we can hold for ourselves. Our visions don't need to have permission, but you need to give yourself permission to have a vision. And this is what I want to leave you with right now. I want you to be with me tomorrow at the workshop because we're going to be talking about this as we cook. I'm going to show you that, it can be a meditative experience when you cook. It can be an experience where you're just having a good time. You've got the music on and you're enjoying yourself and it's fun. And maybe you're having a glass of wine and you've got people over. There's all kinds of ways that you can do it. But I'm going to tell you something, that cooking isn't negotiable. Cooking is like hygiene. It's like learning to floss your teeth. When you can cook for yourself and cook in a way that nourishes your heart, mind, body, and soul, then that's when you can have a clear vision for what it is that you want because you got the energy, because you fed yourself right. That's how I see it. Anyway, I hope this visionary thinking stuff helped you today. And I sure hope I'm going to see you tomorrow because it's going to be a lot of fun, if you know what I mean. savingdinner.com/cook. I will see you there. If there's anything that you need, you can always email me at support@savingdinner.com. I answer every single one of the emails that I get. All right. And I will see you tonight, Trish. Yes, at Book Club. I'm looking forward to it. Peace be with you, my friends. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.